Welcome back everyone, and thank you for joining us today. If you are someone who loves coins, hidden treasures, unbelievable stories from pocket change, or you simply enjoy discovering how an ordinary-looking coin can turn into an extraordinary fortune, then you are absolutely in the right place. Today's story is one that continues to shock collectors, historians, and everyday people all around the world. We are talking about a Liberty $quarter from 1978 with AD mint mark, a coin that many would pass by without a second glance, yet under very rare circumstances has been connected to an astonishing value reaching as high as $504.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a quarter that once carried a face value of just 25 cents, now surrounded by mystery, errors, minting mistakes, and rare possibilities that have elevated it into legendary status. At first glance, the 1978 D Liberty $quarter appears ordinary. It fits neatly into the long history of United States $quarter coinage, a denomination that has been used for generations in daily commerce. Millions of people carried these coins in their pockets, dropped them into vending machines, or tossed them into jars without ever imagining they could be holding something life-changing. The Liberty $quarter design itself reflects a period of American pride, tradition, and craftsmanship, with symbolism meant to convey freedom, strength, and national identity. Yet hidden beneath this familiar appearance is a story of how small imperfections, unusual circumstances, and rare production anomalies can transform a simple coin into one of the most talked about numismatic mysteries in existence. The year 1978 was not initially considered special by most collectors. The United States Mint was producing vast quantities of coins to meet everyday demand. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark, was especially busy. Speed, efficiency, and volume were priorities, and when mints operate at such high levels, the chances of mistakes increase. These mistakes are usually minor and unnoticed, but on rare occasions, they can create something extraordinary. The Liberty $quarter from 1978 D exists in huge numbers, but only a microscopic fraction are believed to contain the precise combination of errors, metal anomalies, and mint mark irregularities that push them into the realm of extreme value. One of the most significant factors contributing to the astonishing worth of this coin is the presence of multiple errors occurring simultaneously. Single errors can increase a coin's value, but when several rare mistakes appear together on one specimen, the value can escalate dramatically. Collectors and experts often refer to such coins as perfect storms of minting anomalies. In the case of the 1978 D Liberty $quarter, stories and documented examples suggest combinations of striking errors, planchet flaws, die misalignment, off-metal compositions, and mint mark abnormalities that defy standard production norms. A major point of fascination lies in the metal composition itself. Standard quarters from this period were supposed to be struck on specific clad planchets with precise measurements and weight. However, rare reports suggest that a handful of 1978 D Liberty $quarters may have been struck on experimental, transitional, or incorrect metal planchets. These could include planchets intended for other denominations, foreign coins, or even test alloys never meant to leave the mint. If a Liberty $quarter was struck on such an off-metal planchet and escaped into circulation, it would already be considered incredibly rare. When verified and authenticated, off-metal errors can be worth enormous sums, especially if the metal itself is historically significant or otherwise undocumented. Another extraordinary factor is the possibility of double strikes and misaligned strikes. During high-speed minting, coins are struck by powerful dies that imprint the design. Occasionally, a coin fails to eject properly and is struck more than once. In rare cases, the second strike occurs at a dramatically different angle, creating overlapping designs, distorted lettering, and ghostly impressions that look almost unreal. A 1978 D Liberty $quarter with an extreme double strike, particularly one that remains centered enough to preserve identifiable details, can become a centerpiece in elite collections. If combined with other errors, its value can climb exponentially. Mint mark errors are another crucial element in this story. The D mint mark signifies production at the Denver Mint, and during certain periods, mint marks were punched into dies by hand rather than being part of the master hub. This process left room for mistakes such as doubled mint marks, repunched mint marks, misplaced mint marks, or even mint marks that appear inverted or unusually shaped. A 1978 D Liberty $quarter exhibiting a highly unusual mint mark error, especially one never officially documented in large numbers, can command intense attention from collectors and investors alike. die errors also play a significant role. Over time, dies crack, chip, and wear down. While minor die cracks are common and usually add little value, severe die breaks can create dramatic raised areas on the coin known as cut errors. These can partially obscure the design, creating unique shapes that make each affected coin one of a kind. A Liberty quarter with a massive die break affecting major design elements, particularly if it occurred early in the die's life and produced a small number of coins, would be considered exceptionally rare. Beyond visible errors, there is also the mystery of transitional issues. Transitional coins occur when design elements, compositions, or production standards are changing, and older or experimental components accidentally get mixed into regular production. Although 1978 was not officially marked by a major transition for quarters, rumors and isolated findings have fueled speculation that experimental dies or planchets may have been tested during this period. If a 1978 Liberty quarter were proven to be a transitional error tied to undocumented mint experiments, its historical importance alone could justify staggering valuations. Condition is another factor that cannot be ignored. Even the rarest error coin can lose value if it is heavily damaged or worn. However, some of the most valuable examples are believed to exist in astonishingly high grades, possibly because they were discovered early, set aside, or preserved by chance. A mint state or near-perfect 1978 Liberty quarter with multiple verified errors would be considered virtually priceless by top-tier collectors. When rarity, condition, and historical intrigue combine, traditional pricing models often collapse, leaving room for valuations that seem almost unbelievable. The concept of a $504.5 million valuation may sound outrageous, but in the world of ultra-elite numismatics, value is not determined by face value or even typical market trends. Instead, it is driven by uniqueness, historical significance, and demand among a very small group of extremely wealthy collectors and institutions. When a coin is believed to be unique or one of only a few known examples, bidding wars can erupt behind closed doors, far from public auctions. In such cases, prices can reach levels that defy logic to the average person. Another layer to this story involves provenance. Provenance refers to a coin's ownership history. If a 1978 Liberty quarter can be traced back to a mint employee, a famous collector, or a historically significant discovery, its value can increase dramatically. A coin with a documented trail linking it to a major numismatic event or collection becomes more than just metal, it becomes a piece of history. Stories have circulated about rare quarters found in old collections, estate sales, or forgotten safety deposit boxes, only to be recognized decades later for what they truly were. Authentication is critical in determining whether a coin truly belongs in this elite category. Professional grading services use advanced technology to analyze metal composition, strike characteristics, and microscopic details. Only through rigorous testing can a coin's extraordinary claims be confirmed. For those few 1978 Liberty quarters that have passed such scrutiny with exceptional results, the recognition alone has propelled them into legend. The possibility that more examples could still be hiding in plain sight continues to captivate collectors worldwide. What makes this story even more compelling is the idea that such a coin could still be out there, unnoticed. Millions of 1978 quarters were produced, and countless ones remain in circulation or stored away in jars, drawers, and old collections. While the odds are incredibly small, the potential reward is so immense that many collectors continue to search. This sense of possibility is what keeps the hobby alive, turning ordinary people into treasure hunters with nothing more than a magnifying glass and a dream. The Liberty quarter dollar also carries symbolic weight. Liberty has always been a powerful concept in American coinage, representing ideals that transcend monetary value. When a coin bearing such symbolism becomes associated with a story of rarity and immense worth, it takes on a mythic quality. It reminds people that even the most common objects can hold extraordinary secrets, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. Stories surrounding the 1978 Liberty quarter have inspired countless collectors to re-examine their coins, learn more about minting processes, and appreciate the fine details that separate the ordinary from the exceptional.